No, this is unfortunately not San Marino episode 2. Well, honestly, fortunately for you, because this video is pretty short. See, I've been basically waiting for a mod to be released so I can actually make said video, and I'm not really sure when it's supposed to come out. Hopefully within the next week or so, but I really don't know. Now, if it comes out soon, I can't confirm any date, and I don't want to get your hopes up. Ideally, it would be cool to get the video out by, like, Christmas. Sorry for the delay, and sorry for keeping it so secretive. It's just how I do things. It's just been a mix of just mod troubles and me mentally preparing myself to play FIFA again. Anyways, previously on the Adventures of Titani, San Marino had just lost 10-0 to the world's version of the Dallas Cowboys, England. This capped off yet another unsuccessful World Cup qualification campaign as the San Marinis lost all 10, conceded 46, but they did score a competitive goal for the first time in nearly 2 years. However, their manager at the time, who guided the team to 2 draws in the last 2 years, left at the end of the year. To start 2022 though, San Marino played a friendly in late March against Lithuania under new manager Fabrizio Constantini. The last time these two met back in 2015, it was a significant moment in San Marini's history as Matteo Vizzaioli, a graphic designer, scored the nation's first away goal in 14 years. It was an equalizer too, however Lithuania would steal away victory in the dying minutes and win 2-1. And said score would be played out over 6 years later in Serravalle. But what you have to remember is that even a single goal to this nation means the goddamn world. To end the March 22 window though, San Marino played Cape Verde and lost 2-0. Then came the Nations League in the summer, and Titani lost their first 3 matches and also a friendly at home versus Iceland. But then came an opportunity of what felt like a lifetime, as San Marino would play Seychelles, a team that hadn't beat a country in their own continent since 2016. Unfortunately, 9 days before the game, it was called off due to unforeseen circumstances in Seychelles. Whatever that means. However, 4 days later, the game was back on, and for the first time ever, San Marino were favorites to win a football match. Unfortunately though, we as a society learned that despite literally everything we had seen so far from this team, we still somehow overestimated the San Marino national team. That match acted as a warm-up for Titani's last Nations League game, and they lost it 4-0. But then came another opportunity, as San Marino organized 2 friendlies in St. Lucia right before the World Cup. This was the moment to redeem what felt like a golden chance just 2 months prior. But unfortunately, once more, all we can do is dream as St. Lucia scores in the first 30 minutes. However, in the 4th minute of stoppage time, young Lorenzo Lazzari saves San Marino with a stroke of pure brilliance only a San Marinese baller could produce. It may not have been the result they wanted, but there was still one more game, and San Marino had the momentum this time.
Today, only hours after revealing to the world that she is super able.
At least on the bright side, the U19s beat Gibraltar 4-0. In the following year, San Marino began its Euro 2024 qualification campaign. They started off poorly, losing 2-0 to Northern Ireland at home, and then traveled to Slovenia where they experienced what I can only describe as the 9th circle of hell. Just imagine holding off a team so well for nearly an hour, only to concede 2 goals where it feels like the football gods are pulling strings and all you can do is watch in pure horror. From then on, it was just a never-ending cycle of pain, agony even, suffering if you will, torment if you should feel so inclined, despair beyond measure if one dares to fathom. At this point, it all felt meaningless, just another dust in the wind. Why not just give up, you know? There's always tomorrow. No. What am I even saying? How could I be such a fool? San Marino has suffered far worse than this, and yet they keep getting back up, because grit is what fuels this team, and perseverance is what they breathe. This is why we dream.
A buscar el 2-1.
Yeah, that might have been pretty tough, but scoring against Denmark of all teams is a pretty incredible feat for San Marino. But better yet, Titani would score again in their very next fixture in Kazakhstan. It was the first time the nation had ever scored in 2 straight fixtures since 2005 when the legendary Andy Selva scored versus Belgium and Bosnia. But then San Marino did what was perceived as the impossible. They scored in a 3rd consecutive game through Filippo Berardi, who became the 2nd ever player to score more than 1 goal for the national team. And while it was only just a consolation goal, you would have never thought that seeing how much the team celebrated after the final whistle. It was yet another unsuccessful qualification campaign for the San Marinis, but they could hold their heads up high knowing they had made history against all odds. Unfortunately though, just like the last time the team found some bit of success, The manager left at the end of the year. Going into 2024 with former Carpi player Roberto Civoli at the helm, San Marino's first 2 fixtures of the year were against St. Kitts and Nevis at home. With how things ended last year, it felt like everything had led up to this moment. Finally, San Marino would get its second victory in the nation's history. And all was going well as San Marino won a penalty and Filippo Berardi scored his 3rd goal for the national team, surpassing Manuel Marani in the all-time top scorers list. This was also the first time in a long time that San Marino scored the very first goal in a match. The last time they did it, 2004, when they beat Liechtenstein. This just had to be a sign. However, 10 minutes later, St. Kitts and Nevis responded off a corner. They scored again right before halftime through another corner, and then finally finished off the San Marinese to win 3-1. At this point, we should just call them Edging FC. At least in the other fixture, San Marino locked in a 0-0 draw with the Caribbean team, but it still felt kinda disappointing. But hey, you know, being disappointed about a draw is definitely a step up for San Marino, I'd say. Come June, right before the Euros, San Marino played 2 more friendlies. One versus Slovakia, where they were destroyed 4-0, and another against Cyprus, where they once again scored another goal. Meanwhile, the U21 team beat Gibraltar 3-0. Good signs for the future there. Then, 3 months later, the 2024-25 Nations League had arrived. San Marino was drawn into a group with Gibraltar and Liechtenstein, the same exact group seen in 2021, which saw the San Marinese earn 2 draws. One of those draws was against Liechtenstein, which ended a 39-game losing streak. San Marino had only won once in its history, and it was against Liechtenstein. And now the two face each other once more. Perhaps this is the chance? Perhaps not though, as San Marino concede just 30 minutes in. However, the goal is called off and the dream lives on. Fast forward to the second half now, San Marino with possession. An opposing defender makes a terrible mistake, miscommunication in the back, and in comes 19-year-old Nico Sinsoli to score the most San Marino goal ever. Now it's a matter of endurance. The San Marinese must hold on to the lead, and for the next 40 minutes, it's constant heart-pulling action as Liechtenstein come closer and closer on every single occasion. But then the final whistle blows, and it's official. After 20 years of trying, 20 years of frustration, San Marino finally wins another football match thanks to a teenager who wasn't even born when San Marino beat Liechtenstein all those years back. This team, over the last 3 years, has fought, climbed, crawled through no man's land. No one believed it possible, except them. And now, the Serene Republic has won its first ever competitive match in its short, yet eventful history. This is why I love football so much. Because of stories like this, where you can just forget about the poisons of greed and sensationalism, and cheer for a team that every game, despite arriving at the pitch tired from their day jobs, puts all their energy and passion on the pitch against Goliaths in their eyes. To be a part of this journey, whether player, fan, neutral, anyone, is unique only to this game, where all across the globe, we share the language of this wonderful art we call a sport. Forza Titani! It's been fun being a part of this journey, and quite honestly, I don't think it's ending anytime soon, especially since we've seen the U19s and U21s have some decent success, and also if you look at the core of that San Marino squad, there's a lot of young players coming up. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to rise up the ranks, but I do think they could be more consistent with games against Liechtenstein and Gibraltar and etc. They've been punching up a little bit too, so maybe we start seeing that as well into the future with these players developing. Who knows? But of course, a massive shout out to all our patrons, including Janos Balas, Brazilian Fury, Respect the Jeff, Othman JN, Habakkuk, Anazir Makalankam, Alex Rod, Ulta, Miguel Munoz, Return Fire, Rory Burns, Slider Kit, Snifferx, Takuoka Fan, The Cypriot 35, Not Windows 95 Man, Kendra Gacha, Big Boys The Baby Eater II, Kerbo, Unkwell, St. Terrence, Sylvia Citrus, Ryan Jans, Wise Orange, Rashford Enthusiast, Cocosaurus Rex, La James Braun, Samu, Just MRC, Cheesebait, Cooper Rory, The Somali Pirate, Claymore Roomba, Winder Gel, M4 Dustuff, Finn Likes Rugby More, Davox, The Portugizer, TPSK25, Polar Protos, Von Fan, Lucien Von Kreuz, Ethan Bennett Loves Kavicha, Gazagos Breshtakiewicz, Mano Tango Fei, Adrian, A Ghostly Owl, Coney Wolves, Mud Tanai, Nava, Chris Visconsi, Dominic Griffin, Kyler Krebs, Mohammed El Tanib, Niche, Patrick Barley, Rashford God 5, Raspberry Ale, subscribe to Tende Tim, and Unbroken Persona. If you'd like to become a member, there'll be a link in the description and up in the annotations. You can follow my Twitter if you want, follow my Instagram if you like, follow my Twitch. Like I said, gonna try and stream some more, but until then, I'll see you guys.